I was fixing to walk out the barn with a 38 in my hand with hollow points. And to the backbone, I was going to shoot myself. I couldn't take the pain. I was in that much pain. That was when the last instance I got run over. And I mean, it took me literally almost an hour just to get my clothes on, you know, and I couldn't stand up very well. So I had to stand up and hold on to something and try to get dressed at the same time. And to give a description of how much pain I was in, imagine you standing up and having somebody just walk around with a baseball bat and beat you from your neck down to your feet. That's how much pain I was in. And I was taking morphine. I was taking like 200 milligrams of morphine. That's enough to knock a horse out. And I would go to work every day, you know, and it never slowed me down. But I was in that much pain. But again, like I said, you're doing something to service God and His kingdom, and you're blessing people. Now, God will bless you, and that's something I've learned.
He has. Oh, He has. This phone call right here is a blessing. I'll tell you right now, there's nothing that makes me feel better. This call right now, knowing what this has done for you, if I didn't do anything else the rest of my life and I checked out tomorrow, it would have been all worth it. It would have been all worth it. And He doesn't need to do anything else for me. So I'm here with Mr. Kirk with one of our customers, one of our clients that purchased the Terahertz wand, the 7.0. And Kirk, I talked to a lot of people. A lot of people use this technology. You've had a lot of health issues. Obviously, you can talk, kind of talk about those. But I told you when I got that out there to you that because of the situation and all the different things you've had going on with your health, that this device would be something that would definitely have some benefit. So do you want to tell us, I guess, start off, tell us a little bit about your health history, maybe some of the issues that you've had, and then we can go in and talk about some of the things that you're starting to see with the Terahertz wand.
Okay. Thank you, Sean. First off, I'd like to thank the Lord God and Jesus for giving me this benefit and this new technology. And my name is Kirk. I live here in Louisiana. I was born with muscular dystrophy, and it's a nerve deterioration type of. And it affects the nerve tissue, which affects the motor function of the muscles. If you look at my hands, you will see atrophy, muscle atrophy. The nerve is like a power cord from the light to my muscle in my body. And that nerve tissue deteriorates, so I lose motor function. This causes a lot of intense pain. And other than the muscular dystrophy, I've had multiple injuries. Growing up, being a very sportsman young person and always athletic, and also just riding a bicycle for my health issues. I've been run over twice, hit and runs, which had split my head open to my forehead to my chin, fractured my skull, almost broke my neck and my back. I've fractured my hip, my ankles. I've had my right arm cut in half and put back together. I've had the left arm broken 3 times with a steel plate put in it from work and other bicycle injuries. And I've fallen a lot and have constant pain. And through so much pain over these years, in the last 7 years, I have not slept. And if it wouldn't be for learning nutrition and exercise, I wouldn't have made it this far. So taking care of myself and using vitamins and supplements has helped me greatly. But in the years, I have learned to study nutrition, exercise, and new technologies. And I studied all of this to keep my. And in the process, about 3 years ago, I started hearing about this terahertz and microwave frequencies. And I guess back in 1994 was the first time they'd come out with the infrared therapy. And I had to go to a physical therapist for this. And you lay it on a mat, and then they had a wand that they would go over with you like a light. And so I inquired about this technology. And back then, I could have purchased one of the mats, but back then they were like $5,000. And it was just a small mat that was probably 2.5 feet wide by 3.5 feet long. And I thought, somebody lost their mind. But it was great therapy. It worked great. And over these last 2 years, the terahertz therapy has come out with this technology. And for a while, though, only the physicians and doctors had this technology available to them. And you had to go through physical therapy for that. And so I kept on it and doing the research, but I couldn't find the products. But when I did find them, I couldn't afford them. And like your Terahertz wand, when it first came out, they were like $1,500 for a wand. And in this past year and a half, I decided to look back into it. And that's when I found you, Mr. Sean Collins, is it?
Callahan.
Huh?
Callahan.
Callahan, okay. Sean Callahan. So I found Mr. Sean Callahan, and his website, is it US Medbed?
USAMedbed.com.
Yes. And I was so happy because your Terahertz wand is now at affordable price. I mean, starting at just $299 for the smaller wand, and that's the one I was going to get. But I do therapy on myself. I do therapy on my mother, and I have other friends that I'm always teaching this technology to. So I do therapy on them too. So I got the larger Tera wand, the 1,000 watt terahertz wand.
Yeah, that was the 7.0.
7.0. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. I have just in my feet, I've had multiple surgeries for muscular dystrophy where they have cut the bones and fused them back together because bones were like growing crooked in the feet. So they cut them, they fused them together and put steel pins in them. And in the process, they have damaged nerve tissue. And with my muscular dystrophy, nerve tissue cannot heal properly. So once you cut a nerve tissue, I have this constant burning, stabbing, aching pain. And it literally feels like I've got my foot stuck in a barbecue pit with red hot coals, just frying it. And I wasn't expecting too much because I've been through a lot of physical therapy. But the very first day I tried the Terahertz wand, I put it on high heat with a low blowing. And you said, usually you start at, only maybe 15 minutes a day. But I went from my feet all the way up to my neck in therapy, and I spent maybe at least 30 minutes. And my feet were still hurting, but I turned everything off and I just sat down. Within 15 minutes, I had no more pain in my feet, none. And I mean, like I did my feet this morning, that was this morning at, I think, 6:30. My feet still don't hurt. It's shocking. It's absolutely shocking to have therapy that good for that long. Normally, I'll do like my rubbing my therapy and massaging and using a pain rub. And within 2 hours later, my feet start hurting again. So I'm so impressed with this Terahertz wand. And what's very unique also with this technology that y'all have developed, y'all have crushed the quartz crystal and put it in the end of the tube of the terahertz wand. So when you're passing this terahertz wand over you and blowing, the air and the heat pass over these crystals, and it releases a magnetic energy, or the terahertz energy, into your tissue. This helps, ladies and gentlemen, what you have to understand is when your body, like if I pulled a muscle in my neck, that tissue, that pulled muscle will swell and will stay swollen. Your cell, like the tip of my finger, your cell has an ionic charge. An ionic charge, excuse me, of electricity. You have a positive and a negative charge in your cell tissue. When you get hurt and injured, your negative charge, it elevates very, very rapidly. This swells the tissue of the cell, and it cannot circulate fluid and extract minerals or import minerals to start healing. With the terahertz wand and the quartz crystals, it decharges that negative ion charge to a lower level and allows the positive ions to recharge higher to allow the cell to accept and push out toxins and increase circulation to help heal. So this is very important that y'all have developed this technology and made it available to the public now. See, for many years, this wasn't available to people. And now you have such a wonderful technology, and it's such very great therapeutic. And I'm hoping that I share this with more people to allow them to know that this technology is available to them, and to please try it. If you just, if it sounds too expensive for you, you can do like different apps for financing, and you can finance wands. And if you're not happy, try it for at least 30 days and try therapy once a day. And if you're not happy, they'll be glad to refund you on these products. But I highly recommend you, please try this product. You will not be disappointed.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank Sean.
Kirk, man, first off, you started off the call absolutely right, giving all praise to God, all praise to Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. And if anybody has faith in God and it's taken them through and gotten them to this part of their life, it's certainly you, because your body and the amount of stuff that you've been through is, like I said, starting off the call, I knew your story. You told me previously, but that is just a lot of trauma for the body to go through. So I appreciate you starting that off. I will tell you, I just walked away from a multi-million-dollar business. I was a partner in a medical equipment company, and I was, and it's we're probably about 12, 15 million this year.
Wow.
I was a fifth of a partner. These companies usually sell for about 2.5 times their earnings. I gave it all up. I walked away from all of that so I could do this.
Now, see, that's a lot of people don't understand.
Walked away from all that. And this call right now makes it all worth it.
It is. I mean,
this is why I did it. This is why I did it, because you can't put into words and you can't financially put in what it's like to help people.
No,
and this call is exactly why I walked away from that. And I couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with the money. It has everything to do with wanting to help people. But this is exactly why I walked away from that completely walked away from that company, that industry, because this is where my heart led me. And calls like this let me know that I'm on the right path. So I really appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Yeah.
Because
look, and it's like, and you have to understand too, you did what God put in your heart. God comes first, no matter what we do in our lives, Lord directs your steps
Right.
always. He put you here for that purpose, and he gave you the option. You could keep that money and keep making the millions, or you can still have an income, but do something that's more towards his serving him, and that's to serve people. The Lord explains in scripture, carry one another's burdens. Okay. When you do that, you have given me a product that has helped me physically, that goes way beyond physical. Because when I can't sleep and I'm in so much pain, years ago, when I first accepted Christ, I was fixing to walk out the barn with a 38 in my hand with hollow points. And to the backbone, I was going to shoot myself. I couldn't take the pain. I was in that much pain. That was when the last instance I got run over. And I mean, it took me literally almost an hour just to get my clothes on, you know, and I couldn't stand up very well. So I had to stand up and hold on to something and try to get dressed at the same time. And to give a description of how much pain I was in, imagine you standing up and having somebody just walk around with a baseball bat and beat you from your neck down to your feet. That's how much pain I was in. And I was taking morphine. I was taking like 200 milligrams of morphine. That's enough to knock a horse out. And I would go to work every day, you know, and it never slowed me down. But I was in that much pain. But again, like I said, you're doing something to service God and his kingdom, and you're blessing people. Now God will bless you. And that's something I've learned.
He has. Oh, he has. This phone call right here is a blessing. I'll tell you right now, there's nothing that makes me feel better. This call right now, knowing what this has done for you, if I didn't do anything else the rest of my life and I checked out tomorrow, it would have been all worth it. It would have been all worth it. And he doesn't need to do anything else for me, but you know, you taking the time to just share that story. And even though this is going on YouTube, this is one-on-one between me and you. And I've talked to you many times. And but to see you in person, that you know, and you know, to be able to just interact with you on a Zoom call, it's all worth it. It's all worth it right here, right now. I don't need anything else. This is more than enough. But you know, the story of just knowing the amount of pain you're in and how much this has helped. Now, I do have to say a few things just as disclaimers. Right. In my heart, I hope it works this way every time for every person, but every person's different, and we can never make claims that every person's going to get the exact same results because every situation's different. I want it to be the same, trust me. But Kirk, the one thing you said, which is really important, is consistency. Slow and steady wins the race. Use it every day. I always tell people, use it 5-6 days a week. If you take a day or two off once in a while, that's good. Let the body recharge. Let the body do its thing. It's all about consistency. Start slow. Even though if you did 30 minutes, you do have to understand that if I say 30 minutes, there's other people who do an hour. And it's not that an hour is, it's not that that's not good. It's just that's not where you want to start, because you're moving a lot of energy through your body. Exactly. You're detoxing, like you just said, and you know the technology so well. I'm actually learning from you right now, things that you're talking about. I'm actually learning from you. And so when you're going through that process, you're detoxing the body, and it needs to be done in a slow and steady fashion. If you put too much toxic material into the body at one time, you will have a shutdown. You'll have a shutdown. Yes. You have to, like you said, when I first read the technology and you explained to me, 15 minutes, start with 15 minutes. Okay. And as Sean, as you were saying, it's better to start slower, because when you change your energy level in your body, you can get it's like going through a detox. You will have headaches, nausea, dizzy, vomiting, passing out. And
I didn't go through that, but some people do that have very sensitive nervous systems.
Right.
So it's
And they call it, yeah, they call it Hertzheimer's.
right.
Hertzheimer's is the technical term because what's happening is you're trying to detox too fast.
Too
And when I
fast.
talk to you, I said, Kirk, I said, your body has been through a lot of trauma and you have to release that trauma slowly, and
Right.
slow and steady wins the race. Now, the other thing that you said that I cannot back up anymore is that I'm not able to do the 30-day money back guarantees anymore just because, unfortunately, a lot of people, it might take them 60 or 90 days, but a lot of people get very casual and they're not really
They
consistent. They
don't do
buy
it
them
every
like,
day.
and
Right.
then they don't follow through. It's like, I'll just turn it back. So we're not able to do that. But I do stand behind the technology. I do stand behind what it does. There's a lot of people like myself where I'm working on regrowing hair. I've used it. It helped me a lot. There you go. And hey, one tip that I just got from one of my customers in Quebec that I'm going to do a call with next week. So we talk about charging the terahertz water.
Yes.
Okay, okay, that's very beneficial. You get a better outcome. You've got the 7.0 wand, the terahertz 7.0 wand. You would point it at a glass of water, not in the water, but over the water for about a minute. So what he's doing is he's putting the light over the water, and then he's putting it in a spray bottle. He's spraying it physically on his
On
head,
the hair.
and then he's using the wand on it.
Wow. Now, see, I didn't
He
try that.
said that his hair has grown out at least a half an inch since he's been doing it. And he's had it for 6 weeks.
Now I got to try that. But I
So,
tell some people, well, the Lord made some men with hair, some men with brains. He blessed me, gave me just a little bit of both. So, but
well, you
yes,
probably got more brain.
I have tried that. I just started doing that because I went back to your website and started do research on all the technology, and you have so many videos that explain how to do these therapies. So I watched that on do it, like you said, charging the water. So I do a reverse osmosis, and then I have a ceramic and charcoal type filter that I'll run my water through before I drink. And then, like yesterday, I started charging the water with the terahertz wand. So I'm waiting to see how that goes too.
Yep. So after you charge it, then drink a glass before and drink a glass after.
After therapy.
So the glass before is going to enhance the outcome. It's going to enhance the outcome you get. But afterwards, you're doing it to flush that toxic material out.
Right. See, that's what I learned too. Like you said, before your cells, like I said, when you're hurting and you've got a lot of toxins in your cells, that your cell is not circulating properly. It's not pulling in minerals that it needs and pushing out extra minerals and salts and irons that it doesn't need. So when you drink water before, as you start balancing your negative and positive charges, then it will pull that water in to push out the toxins. And if you don't have the water, if you do not have the water in your body for your cells to take this, you're losing part of that therapy.
Yeah.
So it's very important to make sure you drink. I would drink at least 12 to 15, maybe 16 ounces of water.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And like
Really
I said,
good
good clean water.
Yeah. And the one thing about the terahertz wand is, what it does is it does decluster the water molecules. So water has a tendency to cluster, and it usually clusters in large numbers. 18 to 20 molecules is what they say. But when you use the wand, not only are you sending the energy into the water, but you're breaking the molecules down into a linear fashion, and they can be absorbed directly into the cell. So you're getting a much higher level of hydration. And that's right. And Kirk, I don't know about you, but I don't care what anybody says. I'm never drinking enough water myself anyway. So I should always be drinking more water, but especially when you're using the wand, if you're looking for a good outcome or to get the maximum benefit, as you just said, and it's from a physiological standpoint. It's not based on just, hey, it's a good idea. It's real science as far as why you want to do that.
Yes. Physically, your body acquires 80 to 90% fluid, okay? And as you just said, the water that we drink, if you drink, and I always tell people, please do not drink tap water. If you have if you're gonna drink tap, please filter this with a high quality filter, okay?
Right.
And now that you have a chance, buy a terahertz wand, and do the therapy, but also charge your water. As you're saying, Sean, a cell of water, imagine a drop of water the size of your fingernail. Okay. That's not the actual size, like when you drink water, the molecule size of a water cell or actual water molecule is probably smaller than the head of a stick pin. Okay. And but the water you drink now has chlorine, fluoride, fluorine, heavy metals like built up calcium from iron pipes and other toxins, including antibiotics that they put in the water. This completely changes the cell structure of water molecules, and it coats them. Imagine you trying to eat an apple that's wrapped in plastic. Okay. That's what your body's got to do to get one drop of water. So you drink a lot of water, but your body's, you're just peeing it all out because your body can't use it.
That's right.
So if you
and that's a great point, because the wand is definitely helping, but it's not a water purification system. So you need to have a good solid water source that you're charging the wand with. The wand itself is not a purification tool that's pulling those chemicals and those different things out. So thank you for addressing that, because that's a common question that I get quite a bit.
Yeah.
So Kirk, is there any other parts of the body? I know we talked about the feet. You brought up the feet, and that is like that burning sensation in that. But is there other parts of the body that you've seen benefit from using the wand? How long have you had it now? About 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks,
yeah. I've been using it almost every day. I think maybe 3 days total that I skipped, but I'm using it every day. I have, like I said, this arm's been broke 3 times. It's got a steel plate from about right here to here with like 4 screws in it. My right arm has been cut in half all the way through. And so I've got a lot of nerve tissue and muscle scar tissue internally. My neck has almost been broken from the last bike wreck I've had. So I've had constant pain in my neck, and my lower back was, the last time I got in a bike wreck, my spine literally looked like a snake. It was all curved up, my neck to my back. So like this morning, I got up at about 7 o'clock and got on my Bowflex for an hour and a half. And when I got off, I felt good, but my back was hurting. So I went straight to the bed and this is something else I'd like to recommend to people is y'all sell a grounding sheet.
Yes.
This technology, this is something else I want to touch on to ladies and gentlemen. Please, you must get one of these. It's a sheet that fits on your bed that plugs into the grounding outlet in your wall. What this does is it decharges the high electricity in your body and allows your cells to decharge and let loose of all that tension and swelling in your muscle tissue. And that's something people do not understand. Everything that you have is electric, is grounded. You plug in a lamp into the wall, a stereo, a TV, it has a ground on that electric cord. You have a positive and negative, and you have a ground on that wire. This ground goes into the earth to depolarize the electric current. The human body is the same way. The only way that you can decharge your body is to go outside barefooted and walk on dirt. And when you touch dirt, your body decharges. And like I said, your high negative charge in your body will start decelerating and decline to where you have more of a positive balance in your cells. But most people don't do that anymore. And they come home, they're tired from work, they don't want to go sit outside with their feet in the dirt. So to have a grounding sheet that you could put on your bed and lay on this every day, this will also help detoxify your body and allow muscle and cell tissue to reheal. And it's since I got mine, the first day I got mine, just laying on it, within 10 minutes, my body was very, very calm. Okay.
Mhm.
Didn't so much help me with the pain, but it calms my body down. And it's
Yeah,
that's such a benefit for me too.
it
So I'm
is.
laying
It
on,
is. It's Yep. So
yes,
you got the earthing grounding towel. So basically, that thing's doing a few different things. Now you touched on it exactly, pinpoint. When you're touching the earth runs on a frequency called the Schumann resonance. It's
that's
7.83 hertz. That's the frequency your brain waves in your body runs on. But when
right.
you're getting hit with all these different
My,
technologies, we'll just
yes,
call them G5 and all these different things, instead of being a slow rolling wave, it's more like an
yes,
EKG.
much,
And the
yes,
minute you touch that earthing grounding cover, it's
yes. Then the
pulling that
charge
out of
starts.
you. That's right. It's putting you back into your normal rhythms. And then what it's also doing is it's bringing electrons into the body. And by bringing in electrons, that neutralizes the free radicals, which are the
Right,
cells that are bouncing all over the place because they're missing an electron. And it's
right.
basically reducing inflammation. But you
Yes,
hit on it also because you're covering other good points about that. But when people talk to me about technology like the terahertz wands and different things, I always tell them it's all about layering technology. It's about getting two
yes,
or three different technologies because they're synergistic. They all do something a little different,
correct.
but ultimately they're all providing their own individual benefit. And so for something like that, you go to bed at night, you sleep in it, you've got on your bed for 8 hours, you're getting
Right,
good night's sleep. Your body's not going to absorb all that electrical radiation. You're going to put yourself
yes,
on the frequency that your brain runs on, which is the Earth frequency, the Schumann resonance. I mean, we're all
right.
children of Earth, and you're sort of mitigating the modern
But,
technology, the things that we love to have, but also our body's not made for. You're mitigating the sleeplessness and all these different
correct.
insomnia and all these things that people are complaining about, which are going out of control. Yes, because your body's being exposed to things that are not natural for it.
Not, that's not supposed, yes. All these frequencies and technologies that we have are, like, as you said, they're wonderful to, and they help us with our daily function, but it's absolutely negative to the body's healing and frequency.
That's right.
Everything we have, like cell phones, computers, it's a microwave technology that, as you said, these are high intense waves of microwave frequency. And what people don't understand is a microwave frequency travels through the air, but it also can travel through your bone skull into your nerve
Mhm.
tissue and stop brain function that properly, which causes emotional and mental stress.
Right.
And the terahertz and the grounding sheets help mitigate this and
That's
calm the
right.
body down. So that's very important. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that because you got that with the terahertz wand.
Right.
So, Kirk, one last thing I just want to touch on because you've obviously been through a lot. Your body's been, but you actually look like you're pretty fit. You were just talking about your Bowflex machine. We started
Right.
off the call talking about some stuff. Health and wellness really, you have to stay active. You have to put your body through muscular
Right.
stuff. And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 62. Actually,
Okay.
yeah, this I just no, forgive me. I just turned 63.
Okay. I'm 56. I'll be 57 within the next week. But here's the thing I want to say. I don't stop being lazy. I'm just going to be out there. Look at you. You're a perfect example. You're a guy that's beat up that could use any excuse in the world not to work out. If anybody's got an excuse to say, oh, my shoulder hurts, my back hurts, and they don't want to do anything, there's no excuses. I have so much respect for you as another gentleman that's, not, it's right close to your age, but you're not making any excuses. And of anybody out there that could do it, because I can tell you're pretty fit. Um, People say, what should I do? What should I do? Yeah, use the wand, use the grounding cover, but get your ass in the gym, get your butt out and start walking, do something,
Well,
stop
yes,
being lazy, stop using excuses for not working out, stop using excuses. even if it's just walking 15 minutes a day, whatever it is, anything, you can build from that. But
Exactly.
you have to do physical activity. You have to get your body moving.
You have to. And that's another thing about if you want to feel good and feel better, if you want the body to detoxify and heal, you have to push therapy. Like you said, if it's just walking, if you can just walk, I mean, walk 1 mile or half a mile, walk around your apartment building or your house. And if that's, if you're like, well, it's boring, tell you what, pick up a half gallon jug of empty milk, fill it with water, and then do two of them. Carry one in each hand, and do that twice a day. And all of a sudden, you're going to find out, wow, this is work. And it will tire you out. But once you start, when you finish, you may be sore for a while, but then you hit that terahertz therapy, and within 20 minutes, your pain is really gone. And you'll notice that the more you exercise, the more relaxed you are when you finish. And you have the next days, if you keep this up, you have more energy.
Right.
I found that out through when I started this, when I was in my 20s, I didn't believe in exercise. But as I did my research on my muscular dystrophy, I was listening to the doctors telling me, well, you're just going to have to accept this. You can't do this no more. You can't exercise. You can't do that. It's not going to do you no good. Well, I listened to them when I was young, and I got worse. I got worse and worse. My bones were breaking like toothpicks. I was in constant pain. I was miserable. And that's when I was going to commit suicide. And the Lord, that's one of the first times the Lord spoke to me and said, don't do it, not yet. And so that's when I started doing research on physical therapy, nutrition, exercise, and homeopathic medicine. I've been doing this for 47 years now. I taught myself more than my doctors knew, because they tried to tell me that there's nothing I can do. And I said, no, I don't have to accept that. So I taught myself the nutrition. I taught myself exercise. And as you said, if you exercise a little bit every day, and it's like me, like some days I hurt bad. And on days like this, I can't sleep and I can't relax. So I'll get on the Bowflex or a bicycle and go ride, or get on the Bowflex and exercise for an hour. And when I finish, I lay down on the bed with the Terahertz wand, and I do therapy on my feet and my back and my neck. And within 20 minutes, I'm so relaxed, I can go to sleep. I can lay down.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So I would just want to thank you again, Sean, for showing this new technology. And like, as you said, y'all have taken this terahertz wand frequency and combined it with heat and the quartz crystals. That's something I like to touch on too. Is the quartz crystal is a beautiful type of crystal that comes from the earth. I've done more research and finding out that a lot of these crystals are actually sap from ancient trees that has petrified in the heat. And a crystal contains a type of magnetic energy, okay? And just holding a quartz crystal, people don't understand, just holding that will take this negative charge out of your body and pull it through that crystal. And it actually just recharges you. And y'all have combined that inside of the terahertz wand. So now you're putting this energy into the tissue of the body when you use that terahertz wand. So I was so impressed with that. And the light technology also.
Yeah.
See, the light also, like as you said, the terahertz frequencies. This stimulates the nerve. Your nerve tissue in your body is just probably 1/16 under this depth under the skin. And for you to use the terahertz wand, when you do that, it stimulates nerve tissue. And the nerve tissue is full of enzymes. And when you're hurting and when you're ill, these enzymes cannot function properly. And the nerve tissue controls your muscle circulation, and detoxifying. It's like, like your computer has a program. The body,
Right.
the nerve tissue controls all the programs.
Right.
So you use this terahertz wand, and it stimulates the nerve tissue, the cell tissue, with the magnetic and the terahertz frequencies, and it relaxes the cell tissue and helps detoxify. Yep.
Yeah, there's just so many things, and you really have a good handle on it. In fact, like I said, I'm learning things. Crystals are actually super powerful. You've touched on a lot of it. Quartz crystal is actually the purest element in the earth. The molecular structure of quartz crystal is the same molecular structure as light itself.
Right.
So it's one of the purest elements, and there's so many things it can do. But when it comes to interacting with that terahertz wand and that frequency, you absolutely nailed it. And like I said, with the magnetism and other things, I'm learning. I'm always learning, right? And that's why even like sharing that story about that gentleman in Quebec where he's spraying the terahertz, the water on his head. Well, it makes perfect sense, but I needed one of the guys that we've sold these to explain that to me, to just come up with other ideas and ways that we can enhance and get better results from the technology.
Yes, and I think that's great. And as you said, I'm not exactly sure how long y'all have used this technology, but I know it's been at least 15 years, about 15 years.
About 10. They've been, the 7.01 that you've got is that's 10 years of research. That just came out about 6 months ago. It's what I call third generation. So you know how it is, like with cell phones. Every few years they dial it down and get a little bit more a little better, more powerful, a little smaller. But that one is, I mean, we're having a hard time keeping those in stock, mainly because the price is right. And in your situation, and I'm just going to put this out there because I do deal with people that are in various income brackets where it might be a stretch to try to buy that. But when I need to, I do make price adjustments. And it's not about the money. I mean, it's about, it's trying to get, when you talk to people, that they really need it. And I think what I'll do, if people mention this call, I'll offer a discounted price on it and maybe even figure out a way we can bundle in those earthing grounding sheets and some of those technologies, because they really fit hand in hand together and they're very powerful together.
I think so. I think, and I recommend that to anyone who watches this video. Please get the terahertz one, but please also get the grounding sheets, because if you use both of these together, the healing benefits you're going to get will be magnified probably 5 times, because you're grounding yourself every day on those sheets.
Right.
So with the terahertz wand and the grounding sheets, your therapy is going to, like I said, it will be magnified, and you'll be very, very pleased with it. I was very impressed with you, Sean, you gave me a $100 discount on that terahertz wand. And then you threw in that sheet for me, and that was such a blessing.
A blessing for me and you, because I knew you needed it. And like I said, it's just, I knew in my heart, it's like I just had to do that. It had nothing to do with anything other than God just telling me this gentleman needs this. You get it out to him, and that's, God always talks. We don't always listen. But that time, I had my ear to the wall, and I heard exactly what he said. I said, "Yes, sir."
Right. Yes, the
I
Lord.
said, "Yes, sir."
And like, as I said, I would like to thank the Lord, our Lord Jesus Christ, first off, for teaching me this technology and leading me back to you. Like I said, because I said I had lived with so much pain for so long, and I had put this off for probably 3 years now. And the prices keep coming down. And when I saw this price, I was like, well, it's time. I mean, I just have to do it. I had been praying and praying, and it was last January. Yeah, last January, I had hurt my back. I use a walker. I'm in a wheelchair right now. I use a walker and a wheelchair. But last January, I stood up off my couch. I turned towards my walker, and it pinched a nerve in my lower back, and it literally felt like somebody put a sword right through my lower spine. and I hit the floor face down, couldn't move my legs. I was paralyzed and excruciating pain. So since then, I've been praying to the Lord, asking him, why so much?
Yeah.
I took care of myself, but like I said, I had been run over, so it twisted my spine and injured my spine a lot. And just sometimes, and it still happens, I'll be standing up and I'll just turn to go somewhere, and that nerve will pinch, and it takes only a split second, and pain shoots up my leg into my spine, and the whole one side, or the left side, or the right side just go dead, and I have no motor function. I just fall. And sometimes like that, when that happened, I didn't have my walker yet, so I just hit the floor. I didn't have nothing to grab onto. But since then, using that terahertz wand, it's the Lord, like as you said, the Lord speaks to us, but we don't always listen, and that's our biggest problem. And that's something I recommend to everyone is pick up a King James Bible and read it and ask the Lord for his knowledge, and he will talk to you and he will help you. And the Lord showed me this technology, and it is helping me. The Lord is blessing me through you. You have blessed me, okay, by bringing this technology and making it available to people like me, okay? Now it's affordable, and that's why I recommend it to people.
So, Kirk, one thing also that I'd like to just finish off with, as a gentleman that's had MS, this call is getting a little bit long, but I would like to do a call just with you on tips for people with MS that you could share some of your information and knowledge on as far as your nutrition and some of the other things that has nothing to do necessarily with the terahertz wand, but just other things in life, things that you've done within your life at your age to be as fit and as proactive as you are. I would like to find another time where we can just say tips from Kirk on how to work with or deal with MS, and just do a call just on that with just your knowledge on that subject, because you're an inspiration for a lot of people out there. And I work with a lot of doctors, and they will tell you that the one thing that they will never do is they'll never put people in a box and say, you'll never do this or you'll never do that. And I know that in the medical field, that can be common, because that may be what they're told to say, and that might be part of their programming structure that they need to go out there. But with all the things that we have the power to do, with the power of God, with the power of our mind and everything we can do, if we can just push past that and say anything's possible, and I'm not going to accept that, and here's what I can do today to make myself healthier and happier, I would love to circle back with you and just do a call on your mental programming, your nutritional, and what you're doing physically to maintain your strength and conditioning. We need to circle back and have a call just on that for the people out there, because you are a true inspiration. I am blessed to have met you. I'm blessed to have this call with you. And, I'm just, everything happens for a reason, but I want to get the message out. And I want you to be able to help other people with MS, because I can talk to them, but I can't talk to them the way you can talk to them. And you have definitely done things that most people would have said are impossible. And we need to get your message out, and we need to get that out to people out there that are looking for hope and looking for ways that they can increase their quality of life.
All right. Yes, that sounds good. Yeah. And I recommend that. Like you said, stay proactive. Don't listen to the doctors because you can't do this. I mean, that's what they told me. And I was like, I just wouldn't accept it.
Mind over matter. Mind over matter. Well, they used to say in a boot camp, mind over matter. I don't mind and you don't matter. But mind over matter, as in you just focus. And Dr. Joe Dispenza, one of the most brilliant guys, will tell you how to program your mind to make it do anything you want to do. And it'll do everything you don't want it to do if you think that's what you want also. So you have to know that. I'm going to put a link for Dr. Joe Dispenza. The movie's called Heal. He is a brilliant man, and it's all about how to program your mind to achieve anything you want. And he had his back broken, and they gave him the same story, and he overcame everything. And now he's a leading neurologist and a guy that's out there that'll tell you exactly how you program the brain for success.
Yes, that's correct.
hang tight with me. I'm going to go ahead and shut this call down, but I'm going to stay with you after we get done. Kirk, man, God bless you. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I know it took us a few minutes to get the camera and everything figured out. I usually do audio calls, but seeing you in person and being able to meet you in person on this call has been,
it's worth it.
it's been all worth it. So God bless you, sir. And stay with me here. And thanks again for everything.
And thank you all for all your help.
Thank you, sir. Hold tight.